very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 here, where we get you the day's top developing stories. Of course, today the big story coming in from West Bengal, that tragedy that is taking place in Kolkata. We'll get you all the latest from the rescue operations there. Before that, let's get you the headlines. An under construction flyover collapses in the busy Bara Bazar area of Kolkata. At least 15 people are killed. Over 150 people are feared trapped under the debris. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in Washington for a two-day nuclear security summit. Leaders from 50 countries are to share their assessment of the nuclear threat to the world. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei calls missiles key to his country's future. Statement comes amid concern among world powers over ballistic missile tests. And the semi-final test for India at the ICC World T20 at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium. Tonight, Ajinkya Rahane likely to replace Yuvraj Singh in the match against West Indies. Let's start with, of course, the big news that we're tracking today, this evening, coming in, of course, from Kolkata, where an under-construction flyover collapsed in Kolkata near the famous Ganesh Talkies area. At least 15 people were reported killed, many of them injured as well, being rushed to different hospitals across the city. And about 150 people are feared trapped under the debris. As you can see there, it's a massive rescue operation that is on at the moment. NDRF teams, of course, have been called in. You've got the locals helping in as well. The army, too, has been called in. So at the moment, at least with those glass cutters that you can see, there's a lot of work that's, of course, still to be done. There are, of course, some horrific stories, of course, coming in from Kolkata, of course, of people calling in, but then there's no trace of those people as well. We've got our correspondent Pranav Goswami, in fact, joining us now from Kolkata for an update really on how things stand. Pranav, if you can hear me, what is the situation at the moment? First of all, if you'd give us an idea of the rescue operations that are on.
Rescue operation is still going on, and all rescue operation team, they are trying to rescue all those who are trapped under the cement and concrete and debris. And you can see this entire area. This is very congested area. This is hugely populated and very crowded place. There are more than 10 lakh people who live in this Bada Bazar area where this tragic incident took place. And this bridge, this named Vivekananda, has been under construction for last so many years. In fact, it started on 2009, and the work was going on. So opposition parties are alleging that the construction was not properly planned, and that is the reason why this incident happened. Mamata Banerjee has already announced compensation for those who have lost their lives in this tragic incident. But really, this is going to be a very big political issue as far as this poll-bound state West Bengal is concerned.
Absolutely. We do know a lot of statements that have been coming in from the Congress, from the BJP as well, blaming the Mamata Banerjee government for not, of course, handling the situation, but perhaps speeding up the construction of this flyover as well, to make it ready, in fact, before the polls. That's, of course, one of the criticisms coming in. But Pranav, any kind of response that we've got from the Hyderabad-based builder of this particular flyover, the IVRCL, any response that we've got from officials on that front?
We have not received any official response from that company, but Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is here right now, and she is looking after the entire rescue operation. She is giving instruction to all officials of state government officials, NDRF team, and rescue those who are in the rescue operation. But let me just try to ask some local residents here. ये जो पुल था ये जो दुर्घटना घटी थी कैसे हुआ और किस तरह से हुआ, कब से बन रहा था ये पुल?
पुल तो बहुत दिन से बन रहा, 7-8 साल हो गया, लेकिन ये अकस्मात घटना हुई है, इसको कोई रोक नहीं सकता, अकस्मात हुई है।
आपको क्या सुबह से ये कहा जाता है कि मलबा यहाँ पर गिरा हुआ था और उसको हटाया नहीं गया था, कुछ ऐसा?
जी सर, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं। कल इस पे वेल्डिंग हुई थी और आज जो है कि अचानक 12 बजे के लमसम अपने आप, ठीक 12 बजे अपने आप गिर गया है, और जिसमें कि उस समय तमाम जनता और लोकल लोग और बस, स्कूल बस दब गई, बच्चे दब गए, और कल इसका रेनोवेशन चल रहा था, कल रात में।
क्या रेस्क्यू टीम टाइम पे पहुंच गई थी जब सुबह?
जी, एनडीआरएफ की टीम बहुत टाइम पे पहुंच गई, लोकल लोगों ने भी
1.5 घंटे के बाद
मिलिट्री फोर्स पहुंची और उसके बाद एक्शन लेट लिया गया। अगर सही समय से लिया जाता हो सकता था और लोगों की जान बच सकती थी।
1.5 घंटा करीब, 2 घंटे के बाद करीब आई।
So people are very disappointed and they're saying that rescue team reached in this spot very late. Otherwise, some precious life could have been saved.
Absolutely, Pranav. Absolutely. 15 lives lost so far is what we're getting at least officially. The death toll perhaps could rise as well because there are about 150 people still trapped under the debris there. Pranav, as you're speaking to officials, especially those related to the rescue operations, we'll find out, of course, of what and how long will these operations continue. Meanwhile, let's just take you through what took place today. At about, like the eyewitnesses are saying, it took place at about before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Take a look at what took place.
In a matter of moments, the busy Bada Bazar crossing in Kolkata turned into the scene of a gigantic human tragedy. The collapsed under-construction flyover trapped over 150 people. Shocked residents joined police, fire brigade and disaster management personnel in frantically removing debris. Some people tried to use their bare hands to rescue the trapped people.
जोर से आवाज हुआ, हम लोग एकदम डर गए बहुत जोर। कल रात को ढलाई हुआ था ब्रिज, ये वाला पोर्शन कल रात को ढलाई हुआ था, ठीक है। ये तो तकदीर मेरा बढ़िया बच गया। उस समय हम जूस पी रहा था नीचे में, जूस पीने का इच्छा था, हम तो देखा नीचे तो जूस पिएगा, हटाक देखता ब्रिज सैकड़ों आदमी दब के मर गया।
बहुत लोग थे और मतलब रिक्शा, टैक्सी सब बहुत कुछ था, सब गया।
Many of the victims were hawkers who earned a living under the flyover. Eyewitnesses described a loud bang like a bomb blast, followed by a lot of smoke and dust. Two National Disaster Response Force teams were rushed to the spot.
सबसे बड़ी चुनौती है कि बहुत सारे लोग फंसे हुए हैं जिनको निकालना, और उनमें कंक्रीट्स के बहुत हैं, इसलिए हम सभी कटर्स का प्रयोग कर रहे हैं जिससे हम छेद कर रहे हैं, होल्स बना रहे हैं, सो दैट वी कैन मेक एन एंट्री, और उसके बाद एंट्री करने के बाद ही पता चल पाएगा कि वहाँ उनकी स्थिति क्या होगी।
Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who visited the site, announced a compensation of 5 lakh rupees for the families of the deceased and 2 lakh for the injured. Home Minister Rajnath Singh tweeted his concern. The flyover has been under construction since 2009 and has missed several deadlines for completion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And we've got, of course, Pranav Goswami, who's been tracking those developments there live from Kolkata. Pranav, I was asking you a short while back about what do rescue operations, the officials, what are they saying of how long this could continue? Have they been able to, bring out some more people from, of course, under the debris?
The rescue operation won't be over before tomorrow because there are so many people who are trapped under the debris. So they are saying that at least it will take some more hour and maybe tomorrow the entire rescue operation will be over. But by the time the local people also, they are also helping, and the army has also reached. So we are hoping that by tomorrow everything, the rescue operation will be over, and then the rehabilitation of those people who are seriously injured and who their lives are saved, they'll be given treatment, and then the entire rescue operation will be over after, but not before tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right, we'll leave it there for now. Pranav, thanks so much for joining us through the evening. Of course, we'll come back to you to also talk about whether this could have some political implications as well, considering that West Bengal is going to polls next month. Meanwhile, let's head on to some more news. And a high-level committee set up by the union government to review the status of women in India has sought a ban on the practice of oral, unilateral and triple talaq or divorce, as well as polygamy. The assessment of family laws is part of a voluminous report submitted by the panel last year. On Monday, while hearing the plea on divorce norms, the Supreme Court had directed the centre to produce the report within 6 weeks. The report backs the demand for the ban, saying that such talaq renders wives extremely vulnerable and insecure regarding their marital status. The panel has recommended specific amendments to the Dissolution of Muslims Marriages Act 1939 and also suggested introducing provisions to provide for interim maintenance. The report states that payment of maintenance to the wife and children must be made mandatory in the event of separation or divorce. It also suggests changing several gender discriminatory provisions under the Hindu and Christian laws.
हम चाहते हैं कि मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ जो हमारे कुरान शरीफ की जो शरीयत है उसी के मुताबिक सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हमारे अदालतें हमारी बहनों को, हमारी औरतों को अगर अदालतों में इस मामले जाए तो कुरान शरीफ के जो कानून हैं बिल्कुल उसी तरह हूबहू उतारा जाए। ओरल तलाक को बिल्कुल मना कर दिया जाए और अगर ओरल तलाक की बात हो तो एक टाइम में कह करके उसको बताया जाए, वजह बताई जाए कि हम क्यों तलाक दे रहे हैं और रिटर्न में दारुल कज़ा को या अदालत को या एक जिम्मेदार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो बनाई जाए उसको दिया जाए कि हम तलाक दे रहे हैं तो किस वजह से।
And now let's get you some more updates from across the country in Nationwide. A special CBI court will pronounce the quantum of sentence to Jharkhand Ispat Private Limited directors RS Rungta and RC Rungta on the 4th of April. The special court had earlier this week held JIPL and its 2 directors guilty of various charges, including deceiving and defrauding the government to bag a coal block in the state. In Karnataka, the chemistry examination of the second-year pre-university course was cancelled today after the question paper got leaked for the second time. Angry students and parents protested outside the Department of the Pre-University Education in Bengaluru and pelted stones at the building. Protesters also demanded the resignation of the Education Minister K. Ratnakar. In Madhya Pradesh's Itarsi district, 2 policemen and a constable were suspended for allowing a man to be hung upside down from a train window and beating him up. The incident took place on the 25th of March when the victim and his father were accused of drinking water from a fellow passenger's bottle without permission. And now let's get you all the news and updates from poll-bound states in our special segment, Verdict 2016. Let's start with Assam, where HRD Minister Smriti Irani mounted a scathing attack on the Congress during an election rally in the poll-bound state. Irani alleged that the Congress government has failed to provide safety and security to the women in the state. The minister also appealed to the voters to bring BJP to power in Assam so that the country remains secure and united.
महिलाओं पर अत्याचार की संख्या बढ़ती गई, लेकिन कांग्रेस पार्टी जो सत्ता में इस प्रदेश में उन्होंने महिला के सम्मान की रक्षा की कोई भी पुख्ता तैयारी या इंतजाम नहीं किया। अगर मैं पूरे प्रदेश में महिला पुलिस स्टेशन ढूंढूं तो मुझे पान बाजार तक जाना पड़ेगा।
Meanwhile, during a rally in Assam's Digboi district, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi accused the Narendra Modi-led BJP government of promoting violence in states ruled by them. He also said that Modi has failed to provide employment to the youth in the country. And in West Bengal, Home Minister Rajnath Singh campaigned today, addressing a rally in Purulia. The Home Minister accused the Congress, the left and the TMC of making the state a backward one.
कि 5 साल पहले चुनाव हो रहा था तो ममता जी आती थी और टीएमसी के नेता आते थे, कहते थे ना परिवर्तन होगा, यही थे। लेकिन कोई परिवर्तन दिखाई दिया? 35 साल तक यहां पर कम्युनिस्ट की सरकार रही है। कम्युनिस्ट ने लूट डाला पश्चिम बंगाल।
All right, without a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue. Each square in turn also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Washington for the Nuclear Security Summit. The summit aims to secure nuclear weapons and technology across the world. Modi is also scheduled to hold bilateral meetings with the New Zealand Prime Minister John Key and Argentinian President Mauricio Macri on the sidelines of the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Washington early Thursday for the 4th Nuclear Security Summit. The biannual summit aims to improve nuclear security around the world. Ahead of the summit, the US hailed India as a responsible country with regard to nuclear security.
And India has a very important role to play with respect to responsible stewardship of nuclear weapons and nuclear materials. India has a long record of being a leader, of being responsible. And it is particularly important right now at a time when we see in the region some choices being made that may accelerate possible arms construction, which we have serious questions about.
We have got many areas in which we have been able to improve and achieve substantial results. We do hope that this cooperation will find a new strength, a new heights will get further strengthened and deepened. And we share many concerns, particularly our concerns about terrorism, about concerns about the cyberspace and others, and we've been working together on that.
Concerns over nuclear security have heightened, with the Islamic State becoming bolder in choosing its targets, the latest being Brussels. There are fears that the terror group could eventually target nuclear plants and develop radioactive bombs.
The U.S. has raised its concerns about Pakistan's development of tactical nuclear weapons, and that this really raises tension between nuclear-armed India and Pakistan in particular. So there are concerns. And not only does it raise concerns about the potential for conflict between India and Pakistan, it raises concerns about terrorists possibly getting their hands on these nuclear weapons.
President Barack Obama will meet leaders from more than 50 countries for his 4th and final nuclear security summit. However, there are doubts over the effectiveness of the decisions reached, with Russia preferring to skip the meet. President Putin seems unwilling to join a US-dominated gathering at a time of increased tensions between Washington and Moscow. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said that missiles were key to the Islamic Republic's future, not negotiations with Western countries. He said anyone who thinks negotiations are more important than building a missile system are either traitors or ignorant. The statements come amid concern among world powers over a series of ballistic missile tests by Iran. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has supported last year's nuclear deal with the US and other world powers, but also warns Iran to avoid further negotiations with the West and focus on maintaining its economic and military strength. The resolution passed last year calls on Iran not to develop or test ballistic missiles capable of carrying nuclear weapons. However, Iran denies that the ballistic tests breach UN resolution. In fact, the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has said that the recent missile tests had caused alarm and concern but that it would be up to the United Nations Security Council to decide what to do.
Out of this agreement, now Iranians launched the ballistic missiles. That it is true that has caused alarms and concerns. But what kind of sanctions, what kind of measures should be applied is up to the Security Council members.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley held bilateral meetings with Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull in Canberra today. Highlighting the potential of the Indian economy, Jaitley said that it's expected to grow beyond the current rate of 7.6%. Jaitley also extended an invitation to Turnbull to visit India. Turnbull expressed interest in cooperating with India in the renewable energy sector. The Finance Minister also met his Australian counterpart, Matthias Cormann, at a luncheon meet. And finally, in cricket, India will face West Indies in the semi-final of the ICC World T20 at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium later tonight. The winner will take on England in the final of the ICC's marquee T20 event in Kolkata on Sunday. India's record, of course, in the World T20 semi-finals has been perfect so far, but the team suffered a major blow after Yuvraj Singh was ruled out of the tournament following an ankle injury. Ajinkya Rahane is now likely to replace Yuvraj in today's game. Here are more details.
Here we go, the final over. They need 4. Well, you might as well hit it for 6.
After thrashing Australia by 6 wickets in the quarter-final clash at Mohali, the men in blue will lock horns with the West Indies in Mumbai. India's ability to win the big games under pressure has been a hallmark in recent times, but the team is aware that West Indies will be no pushover. But Yuvraj Singh's injury and subsequent ouster has put the team in a dilemma. Even though Yuvraj did not score big in any of the matches, he has been involved in crucial stands with top performer Virat Kohli during the group stage matches.
It will have an impact because, he's had his moments. I thought his 3 overs were brilliant in the last game. That really put the check and the brakes on the scoring and allowed us to come back into the contest, because after the first 4 overs it was a no contest. At one stage it looked 200 plus, which would have been very difficult on that surface to chase. So he will be missed. Unfortunate, it's an injury that happened during the game. When he was looking to take off, he did his ankle, and I believe it's a minor tear in the ankle. So we'll miss it.
On the other hand, the Caribbean team is a dominant force in this format, and they are no strangers to Indian conditions either. Chris Gayle will be determined to grab the World T20 limelight back from in-form Virat Kohli, who has so far been the star of the tournament.
We saw a lot was against us, and that really brought the team closer together. And you could see in the way we've played, we think it's us against the world. That core of guys, the 15 players and the support staff, it's just us in our own little circle against the world, and that's how we've gone out and played.
Meanwhile, Windies' preparation was also dealt a blow when Andre Fletcher was ruled out for the rest of the tournament with a hamstring injury. Fletcher's unbeaten 84 powered his team to victory over Sri Lanka. With the flat wicket at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium a dream for batsmen, the last 4 showdown between the hosts and the 2012 champions is set to be a battle of the big hitters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, all the best to India, and that's it on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.